final score, Wrexham 4, Cardiff City 2. Wow, that was one heck of a performance. Absolutely terrific. And, you know, let's add some of the context in here. Although, let's be honest as well, there's so many things to say about this match that I'm going to forget some of them. There's no two ways about it. This was utterly superb. But that context, Cardiff are the champions, and utterly deservedly so. What a superb team they are. You could see it in passages of play, and yet we really were better. Especially second half was remarkable, the way that we really tore into them. But what a performance against a fine team. Also remember, we did rotate the side as well. You know, I mean, look at that bench. You've got Del Morgan, absolute legend. You've then got 4 players who have been on the pitch most of the time through our superb winning streak. Erin Lovett, Katie Sharp, Brooke Cairns, Amber Lightfoot, 4 essential parts of the team that has been exceptional. And yet even rotating around, we still excel. A game which was played at Denbigh and in lovely sunny conditions. Second Sunday match in a row where you could get a suntan, as my shining head on the video podcast version I'm sure will illustrate. And from the very start we just looked deeply impressive. It was great to see some of those players who have been on the bench more often than not lately get into the starting lineup. Rosie Hughes up front was effervescent. Rebecca Pritchard on the right hand side as well, up against Fionn Price, always a big test. And then also we saw Mary Gibbers come in and play exceptionally well in the middle of midfield. Karen Allen came back in as well after injury. Obviously there's injuries that have restricted her chances on the pitch. And we started really well. In fact, we were unlucky not to be ahead after 2 minutes. Free kick by Lily Jones into midfield, lifted into the box. Defender missed the header. Rosie Hughes, 6 yards out, backing into a defender, brings it down, drives it in. The first of a number of excellent saves by Anna Phelps in goal for Cardiff. Abby Idden prods the ball home into an empty net from the rebound, and the whistle though has already gone as she's hit it for handball against Rosie Hughes. And at the time I was absolutely convinced, especially having looked at the monitor on the replay, that this was a mistake by the referee, which goes to show that, you know, referees have got a better idea than I have, because now I've had another good look at it. I can see her arm is up. The angle doesn't quite prove whether it's handball or not, but yeah, fair enough. I think it's a fair cop. And to be fair as well, I hate being fair, James Walker, the referee, had a really good game as well. He had a number of decisions and he got them right. So fair play to him for that. So he started well. The pitch was a bit dry and a little bit bouncy, and we were really profiting from knocking balls over the top of Cardiff's defence. And well, I mean, Rosie Hughes was in her element. It just felt in those opening minutes, she was so full of energy. It was like, right, at last, a start. Let's show what I can do. And she was, I mean, it was just the perfect conditions for her. We're knocking balls in behind. She is so good at protecting that ball on the run when defenders are on her back. She's so good at making the ball hers. Once the defender lets it bounce, they're in trouble against Rosie Hughes anyway. But yeah, the ball was just dropping nicely off that hard surface for her to have time as the ball was going up and back down again. Just get herself between the defender and the ball. And once that happens, as a defender, you're in trouble. And Hughes kept hassling. But then against a run of play, we go behind. 8 minutes. It's just such an unfortunate moment. Rebecca Pritchard turns, looking to play a back pass. But it was, to be fair, really sharp work by Laura Kernock. I think if it hadn't been for her good anticipation, it would have just been a routine back pass. But Kernock, I think, spotted very early that Pritchard was turning back and looking to play the ball backwards, set off on the sprint and managed to get in past Karen Allen to be one-on-one with Lizzie Craven, who had no chance of getting out. Craven makes herself big. Good finish by Kernock. First time though to slot it low underneath Craven's left hand. Really good finish. I mean, an unfortunate moment for Rebecca Pritchard, but sharp play up front from Kernock. And Cardiff had a good spell after that, but we responded quickly. We responded so well. In a couple of minutes, we draw a brilliant save from Phelps. It's great work by Nat Clark. The ball's hit forwards, and Clark, I've said it so many times, but she plays with her head up. She can see what's on in front of her, and so often when she has to intervene or clear when she's playing at the back, she doesn't just clear, but she plays a pass first time. And on this occasion, she's clearly seen that Hughes is breaking forwards. Bowen, the right-sided centre-back, has stayed in, where the rest of the Cardiff back three have stepped out. Usually that means the player who stays in gets the blame because they're playing the player onside at their opponent. On this occasion, I think maybe her line was correct, because Clark drops a lovely volleyed pass into the path of Hughes, who drives to the edge of the box and smashes a shot. It's a great hit, and a superb save by Phelps, who stretches and tips it over the bar. Which cues embarrassment for me, because for some bizarre reason, having seen the team sheet, I thought it was Karen Chamberlain, their usual keeper, in goal, and Gemma Owen had to point out rather kindly after that save that I was giving credit to the wrong keeper. Anyway, from the corner it's cleared, but we nearly score an unbelievably audacious equaliser. Pritchard does well on the halfway line because the ball's played up towards her and Bellingham. She does really well to win the challenge and prod it forwards. And Ava Suckley, as the ball drops in front of her about 25, 30 yards out, thinks, oh, I'll just do one of my regular attempts at scoring a worldie. And hits it as it drops magnificently over the keeper. Keeper's got no chance of getting back. It drops just wide of the left post. If that had gone in, wow, what awareness, what technique. Brilliant stuff. But we're relentless. We keep pushing, and we're really on top, responding excellently to going behind. Phoebe Davis with a tremendous ball, dinked over the top from the halfway line, really put some action on it. Bit of backspin as she struck it so that it doesn't just bounce through to the keeper, and Phelps is really, really quick to get out of her penalty area and just beat Rosie Hughes to it and launch the ball clear. But we finally get the equaliser in the 20th minute, and it all starts off. Karen Allen actually makes an inaccurate pass from the back and gives it to Bellingham, and immediately responds with a tremendous tackle. She just knows what she's done, and she sprints, follows that pass in, and Bellingham, who's a class player, is tackled and sent, well, they're both sent flying by the ferocity of the challenge. It falls to Ava Suckley, and she plays a really good ball down the right hand side. Idendon on the right, she's got only Rosie Hughes in support, and she calculates, let's not try that pass. Hughes is looking for space in the box, but yeah, it's the part. If you get it right, it's a goal, but chances are you won't get it right because there are defenders between you and her and Hughes. So Indon decides she's not going to do that. She holds it up on the right hand side of the box. When she plays the ball, then looking for a drag back, a defender gets a touch, but only diverts it to Suckley, and she feeds it straight back to Indon. This time she does play the killer ball into the goal mouth. Defender gets a head to it under the bar. It drops out. Lily Jones, about 15 yards out, brilliant technique, hits it on the volley. It's a difficult volley. It's not close to her body at all. She's having to stretch for it, and there's a real chance as it drops that she's going to hit it over the bar, but she controls it superbly and gets it on target. Phelps again makes an excellent save because it's a good strike by Jones, and like I said, she's not that far out and she's central, and Phelps gets down, does really well to block it, but it squirts away from her, and it's Rosie Hughes who gets there first, and she toe pokes it home with absolute glee. Every Rosie Hughes goal was a gleeful occasion. She goes nuts afterwards. Actually, to be fair, same when her teammates score, but this was a good one, and it pulls us back, because there's always that sense with Cardiff, isn't there, as we've learned from 8 consecutive defeats before these last 2 games. They are class, and even when they're under the cosh, they can survive and then strike, and you had to be aware that could happen. But Wrexham's equaliser allows us to push on, and we continue to push on really, really well. Karen Allen does well to win the ball in midfield again. I was convinced she was fouled. I was astonished the foul wasn't given. Having seen the replay, the ref was right. The ball ricochets to Ava Suckley, and she hits an instant hit again from distance, which goes just wide of the left post. Suckley playing in a more withdrawn position to allow Hughes to start alongside Indon up front, and Suckley just everywhere in midfield, creating and causing threat. The next move, a lovely one, really nicely worked. The ball's played forwards, and it's those three attack-minded players combining tremendously. Hughes back to goal with a defender tight on her, with a beautiful little touch around the corner to pick out Suckley. Suckley with an excellent pass, and once more Wrexham are finding gaps between the centre-backs. Indon is one-on-one with the keeper, drives it from the edge of the box. Another fine save by Phelps, full stretch, having to parry a well-struck shot. And we're knocking on the door. Indon disappointed, I'm sure, not to score when she's got into such a great position, but she doesn't have to wait long to score the first goal of what I honestly feel is the best Wrexham hat-trick I've ever seen. Genuinely. I would have said Lee Trundle, 2001 against Oxford before the game. Astonishing hat-trick, but Indon's, I think, trumps it. Sorry for saying Trump there. I'll think of an alternative. It also illustrates another thing which we're benefiting from, which is Lizzie Craven's exceptional ability with the ball to her feet. I mean, she's a very accurate, safe passer of the ball anyway, but she also can really strike a ball with distance. And in a game like this, where we're getting joy out of dropping the ball in behind Cardiff's defence, she is such a weapon, and she gets the assist. Long kick through the middle. Indon sprints onto it, getting in behind the centre-backs again, and superb awareness, because Phelps naturally is off her line. That's where she should be. And Indon knows that because the ball's got to her so quickly from Craven, Phelps got no chance to come back, and she strikes a beautiful volleyed lob from, 25 yards over the keeper and into the net. A brilliantly measured finish. And frankly, probably the third best of her goals. So yeah, there's more in store. But before half time, there is another absolutely jaw-dropping moment which keeps us ahead at the break, crucially. It starts off with Karen Allen getting beaten to the ball in the box. Barry is in the right channel with a clear sight of goal, drills it with terrific power for the far top corner. Craven makes a brilliant save, absolutely brilliant, really having to stretch for it. It's really moving. Barry's got hold of the shot, and she's only about 15 yards out. She nails this. Craven makes a wonderful save. It shows how hard the shot is. Craven gets a hand to it. It ricochets straight out to the corner of the box on the other side, and of course Craven's on the floor now at the near post. The ball's going to cross the box, and Fionn Price, the best striker of a ball that you could imagine, the amount of goals she scores from wing back, is the first player to get to it, and she knows, right, instant shot, she nails it, and somehow Craven has managed to get up, get across the goal, and save that one too. Absolutely ludicrous double save. Really fabulous work from her. And then just to round it all off, to conjure up memories of one of my more embarrassing commentary moments where Ben Foster saves the penalty against Notts County, but I get overexcited by the fact that one of our defenders, it's one of the O's, can't remember if it was Connell or Connor, drills it into the building site that the cop was, and I get more excited about the fact that the ball's gone there and Notts County can't score from a rebound than the actual save. Rebecca Pritchard summons up the memory of that by attempting to smash a window in the Cardiff City team coach, which is parked behind the goal, because she obviously thinks, right, like Father Ted says about the toilet, get this thing as far away from possible as quickly as possible. She smashes her clearance straight at the coach. She's not aiming for the coach, I'm sure. There's a net behind the goals, which saves Cardiff a bit of an expensive bill. And Wrexham are 2-1 up at the break. It was nice to see Rosie Hughes giving Pritchard a pat on the back as well, no doubt saying, see, don't worry about the goal because we've sorted that out for you. Or also maybe just congratulating her, because Pritchard, in doing that, of course, manages to do something that Cardiff's defenders, all three of them are outstanding, failed to do in this match, which was get to the rebounds first, which is a key thing. Speaking as a failed goalkeeper, you make a save, you push it away from the danger area if you can, but you need your defenders to have your back and get to those loose balls first. and they should be closer to you than the strikers, shouldn't they, really? So you're entitled to have a moan if they don't. Well, Phelps keeps making great saves, and then we keep scoring the rebound, or getting shots off on the rebound. Here we have a situation where Craven's done more than everything that she can do with this amazing double save, and Pritchard has done it there to actually get there and get rid, which was really important. So the second half, we start really well. First 2-3 minutes, you know that Cardiff have had to come in at half time and really have a good think about what they're going to do to adjust the matters and alter the course of the match. And I really liked the first 2-3 minutes. We really got in amongst them. Didn't make any chances, but I thought our pressing game, which was really good throughout, and is with this team, was very, very good. We put loads of pressure on them in their own half, and for 2-3 minutes they really couldn't string their passing game together. The pitch didn't help them with that as well, as it hard and a bit bobbly, but our pressure was what really made a difference. However, they do start to get the ball forwards, and they get the equaliser 6th minute of the half. Price, who, like I said, is a phenomenal player on the left-hand side, regularly top scorer in the division, and was this season until, well, Suckley and England came along. She bursts down the flank. Now, Rebecca Pritchard's done a good job containing her in the first half. Price gets round the side of her, hits the goal line, and Pritchard gets a really good block in. But unfortunately for her, when she looks to clear it, she clears it a bit centrally and gives it to Billingham. Billingham still has a lot to do. It's really, really similar to the goal, well, beg your pardon, to a shot she had in Cardiff when we won down there, 4 weeks ago. She tries to curl it around through the crowd. That time she hit the post. This time she places it perfectly in the bottom right corner. Excellent finish by Billingham. The problem for Cardiff, though, is that this Wrexham team's resolve is legendary by now, isn't it? They really don't know when they're beaten. And so we roar straight back, and within 3 minutes we are ahead again with, I called it in the commentary, goal of the season. If there's a better goal that we've scored this season, I must have blinked, because it's magnificent. Starts out, and I will talk in more length about Mary Gibbard later, starts out with Gibbard winning a header, and it drops for Suckley. Lovely work by Suckley. She's got 2 players on her. She's about 35 yards out. She does brilliantly to sidestep both of them in one movement. Billingham's the player who maybe can get the challenge in, but Suckley protects the ball so well. And then she drills in the pass. And I need to talk about this pass. I mean, you drill the ball in because you trust your teammate. You know, if a player hasn't got technique, you can't drill that ball at them because it'll bounce off them. But at the best level, that is what happens. You drive passes into people's feet and they kill it dead. Well, Abby Inden was the target, so Suckley knew full well what Inden can do. So she drills the ball in. It's a really difficult pass to get right, and you've got to get it inch perfect. Not only because playing that pass through the middle like that, the likelihood it's going to carry on and not reach a player, and she's got to arrive at the instant it comes if she's going to drill it in. Inden takes it beautifully with her right foot. I mean, what a fabulous takedown. Just stretches in front of her, brings it beautifully down, and then on the bounce, just to show, 2 footies, don't you know? She just steps into it and hits the most brilliant sidewinder left-footed volley. Slams it inside the left post. What a strike. I mean, it's a hell of a goal from Gibbard's good work in midfield, and she did a lot of that, to Suckley's creativity and pass, to the take and finish. Woof. I mean, that's football. That right there is football. We really start pushing hard now, 3-2 up, and really pushing hard for more. Another really good move sees Lily Jones win the ball and find Rosie Hughes. She again works it down the right where Inden likes to drift, and she pulls a great ball back to Cara Jones, who was so angry with herself. She's all on her own about 15 yards out. There are players between her and goal, but it's a heck of a chance, and she's got time. But she goes for the first time finish and drills it and puts it just over the bar. I've got to stop saying drill. I've used drill far too often. Sorry, I'll try and fix that too. But within 2 minutes we are ahead. And Cara Jones plays a key part in it as well, in that it's Evans on the right hand side carrying the ball forwards, and Jones comes across and makes a really good challenge, wins it, and then also is sharp enough to turn it round the corner to Abby Iddenden. And well, that's what you do to get an assist, because you feed Iddenden 30 yards out and she just gets it out from between her feet, knocks it into her path, and then from outside the box just lashes it inside the left post. Fabulous strike. What a way to bring up a hat-trick. And yeah, it's 4-2. There's half an hour left, and for most of the rest of the half it's Wrexham looking for more, in all honesty. We refresh things 5 minutes later and make a couple of alterations. Brooke Cairns comes on, and so does Amber Lightfoot. Rebecca Pritchard comes off, as does Suckley, and that means that actually it doesn't mean that Cara Jones switches. Lightfoot, interestingly, plays on the right, which you don't see all that often, and has a really good game. Cairns is Cairns in midfield and immediately brings tenacity and passing quality. We go close again when Lily Jones stands up a free kick into the box. It's only half cleared. Iddenden gets up around the penalty spot. I think just slightly mistimes the header. I think she's like to put more height and power on it, but it goes downwards and drops beautifully for Rosie Hughes. She's in the 6 yard box, and you think, this is a goal. This is a goal. She pivots. I think actually defended as well to just get a bit of contact on it and takes a little bit of pace off it, and that allows Phelps to make another good save and hold on to it right under the bar. Massive chance either side of Phelps. She's going to have to do something phenomenal to stop it, but I think the defender seemed to just get a little touch, and that was decisive. But we keep going. 4 minutes later again, nice move once more. Iddenden starting her off, feeding it wide to Hughes. Hughes with a great burst down the right, works it inside to Lightfoot. She keeps it moving. Cairns helps it on, and Iddenden digs out a snapshot from the edge of the box, which goes across the keeper and just wide of the far post. Karen Allen's been putting her body on the line, as she always does, so she comes off for Katie Sharp to have last quarter of an hour, and we have a big moment. 10 minutes left to get a fifth. It's again Gibbard and Iddenden fighting in midfield, winning that ball back. They find Lily Jones. She dinks a lovely pass in for Lightfoot into the right channel, and Lightfoot drives it with power and puts it just over the bar. Again, 1-on-1 with the keeper, a real big chance. Struck it well, just couldn't quite keep it down. We keep going. We nearly get, in the Wrexham vernacular, a jammy goal with 7 minutes left. A free kick on the halfway line. Lily Jones sends it into the goal mouth. I say jammy, scruffy, but also, I mean, these things happen for a reason. Cardiff don't meet it on the full. They let it bounce in the goal mouth. And like I said, there's a bit of exaggerated bounce on this pitch, and that causes a problem. It beats Phelps, who is entitled to expect a defender to have got to it first. I'm not criticising her. And it just soars and bounces just wide of the left post. Cardiff are not champions by accident. I know I'm describing one-way traffic here, but they are not champions by accident. They're a class side, and they do actually finish well. The last 5 minutes they start to get some pressure on. They make a couple of changes, and they have good possession in Wrexham's half of the pitch. There's a couple more chances for them, and it's interesting, because it just feels so dominant what Wrexham are doing, and yet in the back of your mind you have to remind yourself, this is Cardiff. They get results. They were losing 2-0 at TNS in the last minute 2 weeks ago, and they won. So let's not assume this game's over, despite the fact it felt like we were just going to score more. Molly Keel's come off the bench, and she picks her up, drives to the middle of the pitch, and it's a hell of a good strike. It's a really good hit from distance, and it again forces Craven to show her quality, lunging to her right, getting a hand to it and just nudging it around the post. And within a minute, Craven has shown her qualities again. It's a shot from outside the box, and that's another thing we really should point out in terms of Wrexham's defensive work, that apart from the goal from a back pass, the other things they were creating were shots from outside the area. And Cardiff are a class side, so they have technical players who can hit good shots from outside the area, and as a result it took good goalkeeping to deny them. But this one's Billingham drilling in a shot from the edge of the box. Tremendous hands by Craven. She gets down low to her right. If she pushes it behind for a corner, it's a cracking save. She holds it really low down. Brilliant hands by her. Erin Lovett comes on with a couple of minutes left to give Lily Jones a break, and we push on and we carve out one more chance in the second minute of added time. Oh my word. Again, I mean, a game that was just a joy to watch. Another thrilling moment. Indon on the right hand side, turning, feeding a great ball down the right. Rosie Hughes cuts inside, great first touch, 1-on-1. Bowen racing after her, manages to keep tight to her but behind her all the way through. Hughes takes on the keeper. Maybe with hindsight she might want to finish and shoot when she's about 8 yards out, but she decides she's going to do the classic Rosie Hughes thing, get around the keeper, and she does it, I've got to say, beautifully. She gives the keeper the eyes and then swivels to the left, and Phelps is off in the wrong direction completely. It's beautiful play. Trouble is, she's close in on goal. She's in the 6-yard box now. There's not much room to play with, and the ball gets away from her, rolling across in front of an open goal. Hughes sprinting like mad. Bowen's leaning on her and trying to put her under as much pressure as she can. And basically, as the ball starts to roll beyond the far post, Hughes has got one kind of shot here to capitalise on the open goal. She tries to take a swing while sprinting and can't make contact on it. She does retrieve and hit it, and Bowen has to block it on the line. But the chance is gone. But goodness me, it would have just been the icing on the cake, because this was a remarkable performance by Wrexham, and we do the phase 2 double over Cardiff. Wow, that is such an achievement. Looking at the performances, well, okay, let's do this slightly differently. Abby Indon clearly is the player of the match. Scores an astounding hat-trick. Your player of the match. Creates so much more and forces some great saves out of Phelps. Player of the match. But there are a good number of performances here that you could look at and say, that's player of the match quality. What did I say the other day when we won at Exeter? I was in commentary. I said, there's a lot of 7.5 out of 10 performances in that game. There were a lot of 9 out of 10 performances in this game, as a minimum. Craven, for starters, I mean, good lord, the double save was outrageous, but she makes 3 other excellent saves. Brilliant. And has an assist, because her passing is superb and she exploits the conditions and plays that lovely ball in for Indon's crucial goal. So brilliant stuff from her. The back three. Phoebe Davis, apart from the fact that that little bobbliness of the pitch allows her to get closer into Cardiff players and therefore take advantage of her great strength in tackling. So defensively she's rock solid, but she also, she's got good range of passing. She feeds some good accurate passes forwards and sets up opportunities. A great performance by her. And inside, when Karen Allen, I mean, she just puts her body on the line, doesn't she? I mean, goodness me, the number of 50-50s that she hurls herself into and wins is fantastic. Again, just absolute warrior, setting the tone and really establishing what she needs from her back three. Terrific battling performance. Nat Clark, right-hand side of the defence, was really smooth and comfortable on the ball. Again, that range of passing and her defensive solidity, she had a really good game. The wing backs, Cara Jones started off on fire. She was crucial, I think, to the positive start we had to set Cardiff back on the back foot. She was constantly trying to drive on and force Evans, the wing back, and Cardiff didn't get that much going down the right hand side. Fionn Price was trying to get forwards on the left, but Evans struggled to get forwards much on the right because she had Cara Jones to deal with, and she was a whirlwind, threatening going forwards when she cut inside as well. But a terrific performance again by Jones. And on the other side, I mean, look, Pritchard, so upsetting for her to play that back pass for the first goal, but she did some important defensive work. She made sure that Craven double save wasn't just a prelude to a Cardiff goal, and deserves a lot of credit for that. Plus, okay, she wasn't able to get forwards into advanced positions as much as she'd like, but that's because she's marking one of the absolute stars of this league, Fionn Price, and Price, as I've already said, is outstanding, but she's quite quiet in this game. because Pritchard did a solid job on it. In the centre of midfield, well, Lily Jones just loves that sort of game, doesn't she? If a pitch is a bit bobbly, she can still got the strength to drive through the balls at her feet. She's looking to probe all the time, and of course, you know, she's essential to our pressing game. Great performance by her, and her set pieces caused all sorts of problems. She was putting balls deep into the danger area and really causing the Cardiff centre backs issues. Alongside her, of course, you've got Mary Gibbard, and I said I'd talk about her. Well, that was a hell of a performance. She was. I tried to explain this in the commentary. I'm clearly not going to be any more articulate than I wasn't then. There's some proof. She did the quieter part of the game, which allowed our flamboyant side to show. She was just constantly on the second balls, all the time. I mean, she's tall as well, and I mentioned that header which set up a chance. She's winning everything in the air and midfield. You know, a pitch like that, like I said, Cardiff will have to try and lift it sometimes. Loose balls will be created. She's winning everything in the air. She's winning all her tackles. She's reading the game. She's constantly keeping Cardiff under pressure. We're pressing really well, and often she's part of that. But if she's not part of the press, she's positioning herself so that she's ready, and when the ball drops loose, she's there, and she'll have it, and she'll use it as well. Her passing was really good, but honestly, it was one of those performances that the players will turn around and say that was class. You know, something that it didn't do any sort of 70-yard passes or strikes in the top corner, but made everything else possible. I thought it was an excellent performance by Gibbard, and we're not for people doing flashy stuff like scoring hat-tricks and making worldy saves and all that malarkey. It was a player of the match level performance, quite frankly. She was so good, as indeed was Ava Suckley, who was tremendous, creating, driving in all these ambitious but cleverly conceived shots. Again, just a force of nature, causing Cardiff all sorts of problems. And of course, she got such tenacity. So when it comes to pressing, she's a great all-round player. She will put the yards in, most definitely, and work hard to claim the ball back. Speaking of putting the yards in, near the end of the game, near the end of the first half, Cardiff are looking threatening on the break after a Wrexham set piece. And who is the last player racing the length of the pitch to win the ball back in the Wrexham penalty area? Rosie Hughes. She looked like she had a lot of minutes in her legs that she wanted to get out, you know. She was just, as I said earlier, set the tone from the start. Constant movements, perfect outlet for those balls over the top. Always looking to create or shoot, and it was a constant threat. I mean, the only question I've got, and that's not a criticism of her, I'm not saying that she missed chances, just that it was a performance which was worthy of a hat-trick. And yet Phelps kept denying her, and she was unlucky at the end when she managed to go around Phelps too. But a brilliant performance. But you know what? I'm going to stick with my decision. Player of the match, Abby Iddenden. Unbelievable. Just, wow. Different level. I said in the commentary she's unplayable. She was. Winning tackles, creating chances, putting well-judged balls in from the flank, moving into space and dragging defenders around. Oh, and drawing good saves from the goalkeeper. And the small matter of the greatest hat-trick of all time. I don't think I'm being controversial in suggesting that she was the player of the match. Unbelievable. Katie Sharp came on at the end and was strong. I predicted that she would score the header because she came on for a corner. She didn't get on the end of that one. She did consider a scorpion, executed an overhead kick from a corner. It was superbly agile. Didn't quite get hold of the shot, sadly, and it was cleared. If he nailed that, that would have been beyond anything we'd seen previously. It was a hell of an audacious effort. Brilliant stuff. Oh man, that would have brought the house down. Which is a shame, because Denby are building a nice new clubhouse, and it seems a pity for something like that to happen. Also off the bench, Erin Lovett came in and made a couple of typical strong challenges. In midfield, Brooke Cairns came on and was buzzing around and creating and getting the challenges in herself. And Lightfoot was very impressive. She had one lovely piece of skill on the flank where she absolutely turned the defender inside out with fast feet and did ever so well. It's a pity she couldn't keep her shot down when she had a real sight of goal, but she made an impact on the right. So, wow, that was decent. That fair play, absolutely fantastic. Wrexham taking the game to the best team in Wales and managing to perform like that and make so many chances. It was a delight. We gave them, quite rightly, the Guard of Honour as they came on the pitch. They are deserving champions, a fine team. They really are. And for us to then be able to perform like that, typically Cardiff took it with good grace. They're a classy club and a classy setup, and they're a good set of players, and they accepted clearly that we'd just played very well and been able to outperform them. And we look forward to meeting them again in a fortnight. I don't mean that in a sort of sarcastic, we'll do that again to them. It'll be a different game on a different pitch, but we look forward to seeing them again, because at the moment Wrexham and Cardiff are we're the fun teams in this league, aren't we? And the Welsh Cup final between us in a fortnight to round off the season is it just feels highly appropriate, doesn't it? What a joy it was, what a treat. I'm telling you, if you're just out of curiosity looking at this, well, firstly, it's 36 minutes long, so well done, your curiosity knows no bounds. But secondly, I mean, fair play. If you're curious about the women's team, come and watch them. It's superb entertainment and superb quality. What a weekend for Wrexham AFC, with a final score of Wrexham 4, Cardiff City 2. I'm Mark Griffiths, proudly from Wrexham AFC.